All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Math Dungeon. Ooh. We're going to be starting our last big unit in geometry, and a lot of it is going to deal with 3D shapes. So today will be kind of an easy day because you guys know a lot of 3D shapes. It'll just be a nice refresher. So I'm going to start with like an easy one. You guys have definitely seen this shape before. If you're guessing and saying something right now and you're saying rectangular prism, good job. That is a rectangular prism. And you probably have seen a lot of rectangular prisms when you've talked about like cereal boxes that are sitting in your pantry, or any type of box that snack comes in really would work well too. So what I did was I opened it up to make what's called the net, right? So your nets from last year would talk about like the front and the back, left, right, top, bottom. So, if you have boxes at home and you're having trouble visualizing what they look like, you can always, after you've eaten them all, cut them open to find, like front, back, top, bottom, and then left and right. Okay, so let's talk about the three words that are behind me. So that's faces, edges, and vertices. A vertex is singular, but most of these shapes have more than one. There'll be one that has one vertex, so we'll talk about it in a singular form. So if I'm talking about a rectangular prism, right, how many faces does it have? So what do you guys think? We've got, let's see, top, bottom, left, right, and front and back. So if you were thinking 6, that is correct. Nice job. So it has 6 faces. And then edges are the straight surfaces that run along. So when I do this, I always kind of think about there's 1, 2, 3, 4 that run along the front. So there's 4 here, 4 edges, which means there's 4 in the back, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 edges along a rectangular prism. And if you have them in real life, you can kind of count them a lot easier than looking at a picture. And the last one is vertices. So vertex, so we want to look, obviously, if it was singular, it'd be one vertex, but I know I've got a whole bunch. So I'm going to count the corners. Sometimes videos will call them corners. 1, 2, 3, 4 on top, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got 8 vertices for a rectangular prism. And that's probably the most common shape that you'll see. You're probably very used to it. And we'll be doing a lot more with this particular shape. All right, our next shape looks like this. So a prism is named for its bases. So that's kind of one thing I didn't really talk about with a rectangular prism because they're all rectangles. But this prism kind of looks like a tent, right? Anyone who's ever gone tenting, is named for its base. So a base is the same on the top and the bottom. And in this case, it's a triangle, right? So this is called a triangular prism, all right? So faces, you want to think about how many faces does it have. So I'm going to try and figure out how I can show it to you so you can see it the best. So there's a left and a right side and a bottom. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then there's a front and a back, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 different faces of a triangular prism. And then the edges are, again, those straight surfaces, right? So I'm try to give myself not a wood or a splinter here. So 1, 2, 3. But then I've got to count 4, 5, 6, right? 7, 8, 9. So there's 3 in the front, 3 in the back. So 3 and 3 is 6 plus 3, so it's 9. And then vertices or vertex, right? So I know I've got one vertex up here, but there's more than one, so we're going to go plural. 1, 2, 3, and then on the back, 4, 5, 6. So 6 vertices for a triangular prism. This is not normally a shape you'd probably be able to easily find, so I wanted to make sure I had something to show you. Okay? All right, next one. I'm supposed to hold it like this, but I'm guessing you've seen it a lot of times like this with ice cream on top, right? So if you haven't guessed, this is called a cone, right? And so a cone is kind of unique in that, how many faces do you think it has? It has 1 right here. Now, it does have a curved surface here, but we don't call it a face because when you open it up, it's like a half circle. So this is just 1 face. And then they're talking about edges. So this is a curved surface, but we don't really call it an edge. It's not a straight line. It would be if you cut it open, but we're not really doing cross sections or anything like that. So I would say 0 for edges. And then a vertice, well, this is one where it's got 1. So that's a vertex, right? So that's a cone. Goodness. All right, next one. We've got this shape, which if you've studied history, you know is a pyramid, right? And pyramids are named for their bases. So this one is a square pyramid. So it's got a square on the bottom, and then all of its, because it's a square on the bottom and all the sides are equal, that means that all the triangles that are created are equal as well. So if we go through and we're talking about faces, edges, and vertices, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles plus the one on the bottom. So that makes 5 faces. And then my edges, remember, are these straight surfaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then how many vertices? 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 1 on top makes 5. All right. Our last shape we're going to end with is kind of like a different one. And I've got 2 versions. I've got like this little one, but then I found this big version that another math teacher gave me. And he said, I'm giving this to you because, not because he thought I'd like Turkish delights. I don't know what they taste like anyways, but because it's a great shape to use. So how many faces does it have? Well, so it's kind of a weird shape, right? So what shape is this front? It's got 6 sides, so it's called a hexagon, right? So remember, a prism is named for its top and its bottom. So these sides are rectangular, which tells you the bases are actually the hexagon. So this is called a hexagonal prism, right? And so if I'm looking to see, I've got a regular shape hexagon because all the side lengths are the same. So its faces, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that kind of makes sense because it's 6 sides on a hexagon plus the top and the bottom make 8. How many edges? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on top, 6 on the bottom, right? So that's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 edges. And then how many vertices? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So quite a few, right? So this might be the one new shape that you don't remember from elementary school. And I have like a little representation as well that was a little wooden block. So I did the video myself because I couldn't find a video that just showed you the shape and then talked about the three items I wanted you to remember: faces, edges, and vertices. So I have a Kahoot that I'm going to ask you guys to try. And then there's an Edpuzzle video that's short. It's like 3.5 minutes long, and you'll be answering questions about how many faces, how many edges, and how many vertices. So I hope this day finds you well, and I will see you again soon. Don't forget to sign up for help sessions if you need them. Bye.